So, guys, we're finally here. We have a whole setup now where we can sit and talk to you guys about Benz stuff.
At the stadium, not the museum.
At the stadium.
Yes, sir.
It was several locations, so now we decided to set up shop here and be able to talk to you guys about all the Benz stuff you want to know. And, you know, some of that is going to include things like reviewing other collections and other cars.
If you guys have been paying attention recently in the last couple months, we may have not spoken about it on the channel yet, but we've seen the Sultan of Brunei have a leak. Some pictures that were taken of his collection in 2001. Yes, over 24 years ago. And yeah, man, Benzes, lots and lots of rare Benzes.
Sultan of Brunei, one of the richest people in the world in history.
Yep.
And it's all just being kind of in the royal family at the right place at the right time. You know, Brunei is an oil-rich country, money's flowing everywhere. The Sultan of Brunei is basically a deity of this country. The royal family is closely linked to God, and even though it's a Muslim country, so it's a really interesting place, you know, to learn about, a beautiful culture.
Yep.
But everyone there is super wealthy because the royal family just gives out money left and right from all the oil money and gas money they sell.
And you know, Jeffrey was, you know, his brother, and he's the one that really went crazy and went ballistic and bought every single Mercedes that you never knew existed because it didn't exist. He was commissioning one-offs left and right, and so when the leak happened, we see a lot of cars that, you know, nobody knew existed. So we haven't seen the leak completely yet. We've seen little bits and pieces on Instagram. People have been posting it.
I haven't seen many of these images we're about to see. I know Vico kind of peeked at it a little bit, you know, and people have been sending him stuff online. Vico gets tons of inbounds on cars. So check him out, Vintage Benz Collector in Vico World.
Yes, sir.
And, you know, so now we're just going to check him out for the first time and let you know how we feel about him. The world's biggest Benz collectors are going to react to the AMGs of the Sultan of Brunei's collection.
Let's see if we've ever seen some of these cars, or maybe we have some of them in the collection, Daniel. You know?
In this video, we are going to have a look through the...
This is perhaps the biggest holy grail of Mercedes cars. Mercedes we could want from the AMG pre-merger era.
100%.
It's a W140 station wagon in what looks like sunburst yellow.
Yeah, well, it's usually they've been making custom yellows.
Custom yellows probably for him. Yeah.
So this might be a custom Ferrari yellow, but it might have been also a sunburst. We have to look at it. They're very similar. I mean, it's hard to tell them apart, but yeah.
This is basically the S73 estate that you took basically the most expensive car at the time, put the Pagani Zonda racing engine in it, and turned it into a station wagon and painted everything yellow. It looks like the interior is red with yellow piping.
Yes, red with yellow piping interior. It might have the front of a C140 from the look of it. We're looking from, this is a back shot, so we're seeing it from the back, but...
Pause.
I don't really love the back door. It's kind of, it's not the best shape, but they were trying different things back then, you know what I mean? So...
Leave it at that.
Incredible.
The shape of the back door doesn't do it for him.
Come on, man. Cars, brother.
Real talk, this car is, I think, the holy grail of all the Benzes we've seen out there.
Yeah, 100%.
This is, what made this so cool is that just so out of the box, crazy, out of control, checks all the boxes too. It has the color, it has the estate conversion, and it has a 7.3 liter Pagani Zonda engine in it. So this is the ultimate. If you guys ever see a legit one, we know people have remade these and done some coach work, but if there's ever a legit AMG one out there, please let us know, because this is the creme de la creme.
Yeah, man, this car is incredibly rare. I think they only made them for him, I'm pretty sure.
The royal family of Brunei's collection, specifically the insane AMGs. A set of photos taken in 2001.
So this engine is a really impressive engine. This is the 7.3 M120 Brunei specific build AMG engine with the carbon fiber spine. This is as good as it gets in terms of motorwork from Germany of the period. And the Sultan limited this to only the use of his exclusive close family. So it wasn't like you're getting a car with a 7.3 engine that was going to everyone. This was a more tuned version of that. So this was originally the M120, but it was so modified they called the, what, the
M297.
M297. So it was even a more specialized version of the 120. It had its own engine cone, own designation. And some people, when they actually find cars with a 7.3 liter engine for Pagani Zonda in an AMG, and they have a blown out Pagani Zonda engine, they'll go and they'll buy and try to buy one of these cars at auction for, you know, $500,000 just to get access to that engine to restore a classic Pagani Zonda. So it's a racing engine, racing heritage, and thanks to the Sultan of Brunei, you know, that engine really became very prominent among the collector community.
So when I was a madman, he had mad whips.
Have recently been spreading across the internet, which gives a better idea of the collection.
Boom. Let's talk about this car right here. Of course, S124 wagon, red on red on red, triple red.
So we actually had one of these cars that was all red like this. Now, it wasn't this kind of model, but, you know, AMG and Mercedes did make, you know, this color for people who are just kind of walk of every day that could go in and buy this car, but not with the types of, you know, flaring that it has, and not with that matching interior. That you had to really be someone special that worked with AMG directly in order to get that all to be monochromatic in the vehicle. So yeah, they made this color in this car, but not like this. This is unusual.
I feel like the colors that they used for his cars were a little modified. Like this looks a little brighter than usual.
Yeah.
The one we have in the museum right now on display, it's a little darker. It's the normal signal red. This one feels like it's a little brighter. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just a flash.
Yeah.
Film.
Let's see if there's anything else different about this, or check out another car.
Stronghold on Brunei's oil.
Boom, right here, man. Let's talk about this W202, man. This reminds me of a car that we've seen recently at the museum.
Yeah, this is a W202 DTM race car.
Yep.
And it has the D2 finish on it, the D2 livery. Just an overall beast. This is a right-hand drive version of the vehicle. If you come to the museum, the Patina Collective, you're gonna see a vehicle that looks very similar to this, but left-hand drive. And it was just an overall badass application of the W202, which ended up winning quite a few races in the circuit. And it's a C-Class, and it is really, really the precursor to the AMG Black Series and all the other stuff you're talking about. Are the 202 series and how they modify those vehicles.
I definitely have a special place in my heart for the W202. It was my first Mercedes ever. So I always loved this car, and you know, long-term ownership with that car. So I love the W202, and seeing this version of it at the museum with the super extreme fender flares and all the body work and the livery, it looks incredible and very shocking. So love this car and love this era of Mercedes, you know, 95, 96, crazy stuff. Let's keep it going.
I think I know this car. Let me pause it. Now you talk about the gullwing, right? I'm talking about the original gullwing that Mercedes is known for from the 1950s. You take that, it's a multi-million-dollar car. And then as a Sultan of Brunei, you take it and you send it to AMG in the modern era in the 1980s and 1990s and say, hey, I want you to fully give me a resto mod to AMG standards so I can whip this car out all over Brunei, open it like a gullwing, but it's a brand new AMG interior and AMG engine from the 1990s. So this car is priceless. It is all Mercedes done in different eras. And that's something that I wish the public could see, but it's tucked away in Brunei.
Yeah, and this car has an M119 motor. I actually know that because someone called us recently. About a year ago, I got a call from our guy in the UK, and he had one of them in his possession. One of his friends had it. And he was showing me the car, and it's one of these cars that came out of the Sultan's collection, I'm pretty sure. It had an M119 engine in it, and it was incredible. And the interior looked like a brand new 98 Mercedes.
So this car today would be worth probably $2 million if it was unmolested, if not more, or significantly more. Especially Brunei probably didn't get a lot of miles. It may be a heritage car that the family had at some point, or maybe it was bought by a collector in Germany, from a collector in Germany.
Yeah.
But AMG had to spend a lot of money to do this resto mod in that period, to put an M119 engine under there, get it all coordinated.
6-liter engine.
6-liter, special matching interior. So this car is probably worth somewhere around $1 million. It says one sold recently for about 850,000. I think myself, a way more desirable vehicle to me in my mind than a classic gullwing, just because it's super cool and different, and I really love it. And I think it's super neat. If you guys have one of these or know someone that does, please let us know, because we're definitely into it.
6-liter M119 in the small Gull. This is probably one of my dream cars right here, if you think about it. This is incredible because I love our custom-made Fintail. That's one of my favorite cars to ever drive in the world, and that just the feeling of a custom-made body that feels like those old Gullwings is just incredible. And then you mix it with, you know, the sturdiness of the R129. They used rear links from the R129. They also used, you know, other parts from the R129 as well. But yeah, incredible car. And you see the center console here. It looks like an
Amazing.
R9.
It's right-hand drive too. Yeah, now you can also find people who are taking replica versions of the Gullwings, like our boy Slang out there, and rebuilding them with like a resto mod and crazy interior and putting modern engines.
Yeah.
And a lot of those are done, I believe, on a SLK 32 AMG platform.
Yeah.
But this is something completely different with the M119 engine, like Vico said. It's a real beast, and this is something you'd wish you could see out in public driving around or see in display. But amazing car, gorgeous car, and hopefully we see it one day.
A W100 600 Pullman,
This car is crazy.
but done up by AMG to feature an M120
Wow.
V12 engine and a sport leather interior with wood
Wow.
trim from AMG.
Wow.
Oh my God! Wow!
Another example of AMG taking a really priceless car, a 600 Pullman, and doing a resto mod in the 90s before anyone even had an idea of what a resto mod was for the Sultan
Insane.
is absolutely insane.
Sick.
A complete modern engine for the period put into it, a updated in essence Designo interior, carbon fiber throughout this car. So you're taking a car from the 1960s. These are selling for millions of dollars today, unbothered. And to have it redone by AMG in the 90s is mind-bending, beautiful, for some of you guys painful probably to look at, but I think it's amazing. And I want this so bad.
Of course, in these pictures, it looks slammed. I wish that's how it drove, but I think that's because it hasn't been driven and the air suspension.
Everything's destroyed probably
hydraulic-
inside this
the
car.
hydraulic suspension. Everything is hydraulics in this car, of course, even the windows. But yeah, man, they remade, they put the M120 in it. I'm not sure if this is a 7-liter. It says AMG on the front, so I'm guessing it's a 7-liter. There's an AMG sticker in the engine bay, but it has the regular Mercedes-Benz spine, which is odd. But, they did all types of weird stuff for him. Maybe he wanted a classic look, not too, when you open the hood, a classic Mercedes.
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think he knew what he wanted. They just gave him stuff and he loved it.
Exactly. But this car is incredible. Custom-made interior, custom wood with this beautiful placard that says specially made AMG for the royal family of Brunei. And imagine sitting back there and just seeing that, just knowing you are the VIP of AMG.
It's like one thing to actually be the Sultan of Brunei, but then want to be reminded everywhere you look that you are the Sultan. You have statues of yourself everywhere. You're on the money, you're on the currency. And then when you sit in your car, you read a placard made by the car company that reminds you are the Sultan and life is good.
Insane.
It's good to be the king.
This is insane right here. This is crazy right here.
Insane car, and I like how he went with the license plate KF6969, like a real weird but cool move. So I respect it. Gorgeous car, and I think the interior, looking at it, has a bit of a surprise.
Yes, exactly. So this is like an olive green, like a beautiful green from AMG. And of course, this guy was like reinventing the word bespoke when he was making all these cars, man. And just when we think we saw and we know about all the Picasso interiors, boom.
Picasso green interior. So this interior was hand painted by artisans near the AMG factory and just placed into a very limited series of cars. And usually it would accompany things like matching wood, matching carpets, etc. Sometimes you see the seats by themselves, the interior by itself as a Picasso interior, but usually the seats aren't the only thing, it's matched throughout. This is the example of doing the Picasso interior, but all the way. You have the hand-painted seats, you have the matching wood, you have the matching carpets, you have everything leather wrapped to match the green. So all in all, just an amazing job by a craftsman. So AMG wasn't just doing the engine work to extremely high level, they were doing the interiors down to the level of hand painting the seats in specialty designs.
This is beautiful work by AMG.
Yeah.
And our Picasso has a bit more of a complete interior because we even have the color match cluster.
That's true.
This one only has a black cluster, but that could have been by request. I don't know why he didn't do the green cluster. I would have loved to see the green cluster in here, to be honest, because at this point we're going crazy. Let's go crazy all the way. Let's not stop, Let's just go extremely all the way crazy. With the green wood as well. Where's my green wood at?
Congratulations, sir. Your
Picasso.
is here.
Wow, thanks. I've been dying for one of these.
Where's my green wood at?
What?
Next, a silver S72 Cabrio. And finally, a custom yellow S72 Cabrio.
This is another C140 Cabriolet, but this one is done in a wild and insane shade of yellow with a black interior. It's like a bumblebee type of car. And gorgeous color matching wheels, most likely a 7.2 or 7.3 engine. Just another stunner. This is something that we have enough cars on hand that maybe one day we'll work with someone to recreate or recommission, but this is incredibly beautiful. And I would say this is right up there with the station wagon in terms of the epitome of what you can expect from the Sultan of Brunei.
And I remember pictures from a long time ago, they had a yellow room where you had all yellow cars, and this was one of the cars that was in there amongst Ferraris and all types of other cars. But yeah, man, this was one of the yellow cars. It's yellow on yellow, yellow monoblock wheels as well, and it has like a black and looks like a black interior with a yellow pinstripe. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
A yellow room, a jello room, as we say in Florida.
Yes, sir.
So AMG, as much as they can have credit for all the tuning and the paint jobs and the wheels and all the crazy engineering that went into the mechanical parts of the car and a lot of the optical parts of the car, including wide bodies, but they really weren't responsible for a lot of the coach building here. When it came to doing things like chopping the top off a car, that's not something AMG would do. They usually outsource to companies like SGS Styling Garage. There are other ones that were there, Carmen, and
Carmen did the wagons as well.
They did the wagons as well. So there were quite a few people in the area in Germany. There's a lot of whole culture around, of course, tuning and coach building. So while AMG is responsible probably for a lot of the thought process and who to source it to, the bodies and the look and the color and the engineering will give them credit for. But when it came to how slick the coach building work is and chopping the tops as well as building out the estates, now there's a lot of craft work that's done in Germany to make this, look really good.
Yeah, and of course AMG is a tuning company. They're not coach builders, so we didn't expect that from them. But it's cool to know these other companies that helped and were involved in making these cars crazy. Like, making a car into a wagon is not an easy feat, and to make it look stock the way they did is incredible.
We love having bright, vibrant colors. So when we see a yellow car like this,
yeah,
that's what does it for. It's a showstopper. A lot of guys who collect Benzes like the traditional colors, black, Blauschwarz, etc. When we see out insane colors like this, it just speaks to us from the era. It's gaudy. We know it's over the top, but it's what we love. We can't help it. Pakistani, Lebanese.
Yes, sir.
Another 1995 S72 Cabrio with a dark purple color and a bright blue leather interior.
Crazy, insane, disgusting. This is like, so we have the purple Picasso in the collection, which is very close to this color right here. But this is, you can tell, is a little different. This is like a midnight purple. This is something you would see on like a, maybe a BMW or something, But incredible color from Designo, of course. And it's a convertible, once again. AMG kit, all AMG.
It's ostentatious. It's like everything else. It's just more of the same. The color is insane. Interior is insane. Yeah. Want.
Let's go to the interior. Let's see the interior. Hold on. Boom. Interior on this car, incredible. It's a Designo purple blue. Yeah. Something you would see with the Picasso. The blue Picasso interiors came with this color right here, and of course monochrome. Everything's the same color, and the wood looks like a. Let's see what this is like. Almost like a dark gray or something. So yeah, man. There's a bunch of, we can go through a lot of them, but we're gonna just move on right now to the coupes. All right, this is insane. What the hell is this? Red on red on red. What we doing? Chrome wheels.
Blood.
Incredible.
It's gang related. This
one.
Is
a custom, so this has a custom front bumper that they never made.
I'm looking at it. Yeah.
So this bumper right here, it's from the SL. The design of it is from the Gen 2 SL AMG kit. All right, but they actually remixed it just for him. So they would do this just for him. The guy was such a big customer, they didn't care. They just make custom stuff for him all day. They didn't give a shit.
You had to make a custom mold in order to make this car.
No, this is insane.
This is wild.
This is crazy. This no C140 has this right here. No C140 has this bumper. This is a custom made bumper, custom made lights, and of course the plate BQ7502. Who knows what that means? But I'm telling you, it's big money for show. And you got, once again, right-hand drive. And the purple Picasso is the closest thing we have to like one of these C140s,
And the side view mirror too is from an SL.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. So like they almost took all the body kit features, everything off an SL, which is a car which is way smaller,
Yeah.
and put it on this
You have
vehicle.
to understand, Daniel, this guy was ordering so many cars, they were like, okay, he's gonna get bored. Let's just start switching it upward. No, but for real,
Yeah.
so he ordered like 100 or 200 C140s alone. So they had to switch it up and start. So they're like, okay, the engineers are probably going crazy. The designers probably running back and forth in Germany, like, yo, you know, what should we do? So
Forget about what that word means. There's a fire breaking out in the language lobes. We need to get out of here. The door's jammed. Push harder.
This is the equivalent of literally doing like just stunting.
yeah.
Like for him, it's not even, it's a sport at this point.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what can I do to merge this car and this car and do this and this, and then scale things up and scale things down and make you have you do custom molds for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's at the level what we're talking about here.
Now, one thing that would have been cool, and we would love to give props to the Sultan for doing, is if he would have himself actually calling in these custom kits and designing them, or maybe giving ideas, but we'll never know, I guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my guess most likely is that AMG had a design team that put stuff together that he liked, like this insane interior, and they knew he loved carbon fiber, so they put it everywhere. And he loved especially colored carbon fiber, you know, and so he would go and they would just offer him like this. They probably would send, my understanding, it was like $50 million a clip at a time. That's like the minimum size order they would take.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is,
Yeah.
you know, the Sultan of Brunei, he would just, it's like a barber, just like anything, just like anybody that you work with often, they just know what you want after a while, and you don't have to say anything, so they would just know his taste, and they would just be like, okay, he'll like that. There's no way they're on the phone all day just customizing cars with him, because that's how
No.
that's what it would take to
yeah.
have this many builds. And once again, all red interior, the Zinio interior, carbon fiber.
Yeah, the carbon fiber you usually wouldn't have seen in the C140s at all.
Never.
At any point. Carbon fiber was usually only seen like in the SLK eventually, and the R129s.
SLR?
But, yeah, SLR, but never in a C140. So this is shocking.
Yeah, you have to remember the C140 is a S-Class. It's a classy car at its core.
But it makes sense because since it was available in the R129, why not offer it in this? Because everything else about the car is from the R129.
100%. If you guys have been following us and been looking at the channel, you may know we do have a few cars from the Sultan of Brunei's collection, and one of the prominent cars is the SL73, which is currently on display at the Patina Museum, and we have a deep dive coming up soon.
The SL73 is a vehicle that has a certain aura to it because the race engine that sits inside of an otherwise consumer-friendly car, and the way we displayed it without the hood, so you can actually walk around and see the handcraft workmanship that AMG did really in its pre-merger heyday. It just has, and it speaks to you, all the patina that's on the engine, the patina that's on the carbon fiber that's on the spine, the car itself, it's all there. So as much as we love looking at these cars online, the fact we're able to get our hands on them and now have you guys come and get as close to them as you pretty much want. You know, we don't keep people from getting close to cars. There's no touching allowed, but you can literally hover right over it and look exactly at an artifact. We were super happy to bring it to you, super excited, and you need to come and see it. So just come down. You're gonna be in Florida anyway, doing something crazy at some point in your life. Check out a Benz. So the SL73 in our collection from the Sultan of Brunei was actually a car that was built for the Sultan and then eventually taken over to the UK to be kept at the Brunei embassy. I don't know if they have an embassy themselves or like a correlative embassy, but either way, it was in a diplomatic position there. And then really left for years and then handed out to other people that worked at the embassy and eventually found its way to us. We were able to purchase it from the UK. So it escaped a later fate of a lot of these SL73s where they just kind of sat around and entered some poor condition and slowly kind of fell apart over time. It was used and utilized really in the mid 2000s and up until about 2012, 2013. It was in a collector's hands who drove it relatively often, and then kind of went to a different collector who didn't put a lot of miles on it, and then we were happy to find it. So if you're able to get a car out of Brunei, there's value there. We've taken cars directly out of Brunei ourselves. It is incredibly challenging to navigate that process. And if you guys ever need help getting cars out of a country, you can always reach out to us. We know how to do it. We've done it from over, I think, 100 nations now we've pulled cars from. So please always reach out to Patina. We're here to help, and it's all about the game. It's a sport for us. We love doing it, and we're all about supporting you guys as you collect your cars. And listen, guys, if you like this content and like the format like this, let us know. We try doing something different for you guys because you always ask us to have our commentary, what we think about things, and want this more kind of one-on-one get to know us setup and how we are behind the scenes, how Vico and I sit and talk about cars when it's just us kind of kicking it. And if you guys have any questions for us or comments, leave them below, and hope to see you around.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. It's Patina Collective, and we're here to serve the Benz community as always. Let's go.